All right, good morning, traders. Today's July 30th, 2025. Hey, we're nearing the end of the month here. It's getting close. All right, so my name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. All right, thank you for following my content. Thank you for subscribing to my content. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing my content. Thank you for leaving kind words on my content. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That helps with the I'm just going to say with the internet algorithm and how they decide how much visibility they're going to give me. So again, if I look like I'm growing, they might give me more visibility. All right. So my SPY pivot this morning, 636.30. All right. 636.30. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab Five are in daily uptrends. Okay. Check this out. SPY, FNGU, and QQQ, same thing as yesterday, made new all-time highs again. The day before and yesterday. So that's I think that's 2 or 3 in a row for some of those. All right, IWM made an outside day, closing under a bullish trap over the rising 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend. That was a weak 2-hour, 2-candle, 2-hour downtrend. We'll see if they can recover that today. We got GDP going to be announced at 8:30. All right, I am expecting good numbers for GDP. We'll see. All right, I don't always get what I want. So, SPY closed 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. Diamond Dow made a lower low and a lower high, closing over a bullish trap and over the 17. Silver and gold both in uptrends. They're kind of dipping a little bit here. Silver made a higher low and a higher high, closing under a bearish trap but over the rising 17. Gold made a higher low and a higher high, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. USO in a daily uptrend. UNG's in a downtrend. USO made a higher low and a higher high. Check out that candle for USO. All right, that's a nice looking candle. USO made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. UNG made a higher low and a higher high, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a downtrend. Hey, we love that, right? Closed near the 98.90 area. SPY max pain for the options. That would be the puts and calls that expired today. Okay, have a put to call ratio with max pain is 635. The put to call ratio is about 1 2/3 puts for each call that expires today. Okay, so I'm kind of expecting a pop with this GDP. Let's go take a look at what I see. Oh, and by the way, check out Bro. All right, Bro is on my bears list. All right, is being in a downtrend. We've got a couple of these, and then we'll go look at the numbers that came out yesterday. Okay, I got URGN. I got a little star on that one. I got a star on ALHC, and I got a star on STWD. Let's go check out URGN, and then I want to take a look at Bro. Okay, now I didn't have Bro starred. All right, so I'm going to move this over to the side here. Okay, and I already lost it. Okay, so let's go check out Bro on the daily chart. Look at that drop. That was in a downtrend. I don't know how I didn't catch this. That was a really nice platform build out right there. Just before, a little diving platform before they dove lower. And I missed that. That sucks. But it was on the bears list, okay? I'm sure everybody would have loved to caught some of that. That was a nice move. Yeah, that earnings drop, but it was always in a downtrend, and we also had some. Yeah, you can see it. We had the negative 100 on the balance of power at one time, which probably inspired me to add it to the list right here. And then you can see here's the huge drop there. What was the other one? URGN. Okay, URGN is building out the launch pad right here. I don't know if it launches or not, but it's looking good. All right. It did a pop from the last launch pad. You can see here's the build out on that one. All right, now they're building out another one up here. We'll see if they fire off. Again, on these, look for that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, okay? If that's not there, you know, really think about blindly buying it, okay? Look for that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. What was some of the other ones here? Let me pull one up here. ALHC. Yeah, ALHC building out the platform here for a drop lower. Okay, obviously in a downtrend. Okay, URGN. I don't know if I did that one yet. URGN. Yeah, I already did URGN. And the other one was STWD. Okay. Oh, yeah, see this down, over. Yeah, you know, when they do that, and probably the next move is going to be down a little bit lower. We'll see. So both of ALHC is starred and STWD and URGN all starred there for your convenience if you're interested in trading something other than SPY and QQQ, which is my normal thing to trade, is those two indexes. Okay. Yesterday, okay, so this is what I'm looking at. All right, exports. This is the trade imbalance. All right, we have a trade imbalance. It's no secret. Okay, the USA, we got a trade imbalance, meaning we take in more goods and services than we export. Okay. Notice that we were at a negative 5.2, and now we're only at a negative 0.6. Okay, that could be an indication of an increase in exports. That would be nice. I hope that's the case, because if that's the case, we could see an improvement in GDP coming out at 8:30 today. Okay. Here's the balance range. Okay, we were upside down by about 130 billion to 90 billion. Okay, see right here, prior balance minus 96 billion. Okay, in other words, we've got we take in more product than we push out. Okay, than we sell to foreign countries, and we cut that. Okay, by almost 11% right here. Okay, so 96.6, 96.4. We got it down to 86.4. So that's like better than 10%. That's like 11%. That's a huge bump, all right, for that trade imbalance, because that's what we have. Okay, so notice that got better. I'm thinking maybe GDP looks good. We'll see. All right. Also got a lot of good numbers out, and it's possible they announce a rate cut. I don't know. All right, we'll see. Maybe there might be no rate cut, but in the presser meeting, they could say the economy is looking good, and we are scheduling a rate cut for, I don't know, maybe August. Okay, they got to put 2 more in before the end of the year. And the months are expiring, so we'll see what they want to do. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, so we got FOMC today at 2 p.m. and then at 2:30 there's a little presser. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. Hey, good morning, Rickster and Lenny and Fred and everybody. Thank you for being here today. All right, so let's go take. No, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to close anything. Okay. All right, let's go take a look at SPY. All right, let's take a look at it on the 3-minute. Well, let's take a look at it on the 10. Let's take a look at it on the 10 here, okay? So on the 10, you can see right here, the yellow 3 EMA is underneath the white 8 EMA, okay? So you notice they didn't close that. So we had a 10-minute downtrend. So right there, what we got is a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close yesterday. But we got economic data going to be announced in about 15 minutes that could disrupt all of that 10-minute downtrend. All right, what else do we have? We have on the 2-hour chart. Let's take a peek at the 2-hour. You can see on the 2-hour right here, the 3 EMA, all right? We have a 2-candle week 2-hour downtrend, okay? See the 3 EMA has now crossed underneath the 8 EMA. So we got a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. We'll see what happens, okay? I don't see any signs of a double top up there, all right? I think it's just a rest. And if you remember, we made a new all-time high, okay? So this is their normal pullback, whatever, okay? And I think things are still looking strong. All right. Well, as far as I see, I don't see anything falling apart. Okay. The 2-minute is the 2 hours now starting a downtrend right now. Okay. So there's SPY on the 2-hour chart. On the daily chart. All right. Let's take a peek at that. All right. Again, you can see new all-time high up there. See, here's the prior day's high. There's yesterday's high. Okay, notice we closed inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Okay, new all-time high. It doesn't get any better than that. It could get better if it got up there and just stayed up there. Okay, pulling back sometimes is healthy. All right, to have a pullback to re-energize, pick up some more spinach. You know. So we can go off and attack the next day. Okay, sometimes a pullback is good. It helps price pressure kind of blow off some steam so that they can prep for the next day. Okay, so it's good. There's some goods and there's some bad. So there's SPY in a daily, okay, uptrend, obviously right there. I'll back way out. You can see here's the rally low, starts in April. All the way up there, making new all-time highs, okay? So there's daily chart. Daily's in an uptrend, okay? Weekly's in an uptrend. Monthly's in an uptrend. I'll show you weekly, okay? Weekly, see the green dots right there? See the 3 on top of the 8? Okay, weekly in an uptrend. Monthly, okay? See the green dots? Okay? See the 3 on top of the 8? Weekly. Monthly, that's an uptrend, okay? Look at that tail. That's a big tail. Wouldn't it be nice to see a big wick form up there? Maybe. We'll see. All right, so there's SPY on the monthly chart. Okay, that's in an uptrend. Weekly's in an uptrend. Daily's in an uptrend. Okay, now it's no secret what I like to trade, okay? It's 10-minute chart. Okay, I like the 10-minute downtrends that are under VWAP. I like the 10-minute uptrends that are above VWAP, okay? I especially like it when they're peeling away from VWAP. They are separating themselves from the VWAP, okay? When price is above VWAP, it is said to be, well, kind of expensive. And when its price is below VWAP, it's said to be cheap, okay? Now keep in mind, VWAP is a moving average, all right? So you don't go by that. So it's on sale. So this is a perfect opportunity to reload while it's down here, all right? But you don't want to reload blindly, but you do want to reload strategically, okay? So if you're thinking SPY is going to go to 650, this would be a great opportunity to load up on some longer-term options that you would have a chance to correct should they fall apart. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute. I like 10-minute uptrends, 10-minute downtrends. So what did we trade yesterday? Well, we traded this 10-minute downtrend here. And then, look, we have a head and shoulders right here. You got the head, right shoulder, left shoulder, and we had a head and shoulders. And we traded this 10-minute downtrend right here. See the 3 is underneath the white 8 EMA. Price moved over to the right. Notice it didn't bounce up out of here. All right, so I had a I had a belief that they were going to make a lower low, all right, than what we already had because they didn't leave the area. All right, usually after 6 10-minute candles, okay, if they don't leave, see how they left after about 6 10-minute candles here. Let's call this the low. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and now they leave the area. See that? Okay, see how they left the area. Oh, but they returned. Okay, they returned to the scene of the crime. Okay, so that tells me that they don't want to leave the area. All right, so and then of course could consider this a double bottom or a failure to make a lower low. Okay, but then again we go 6 more candles. Okay, and we're not leaving the area. Okay, which gives me the idea that if they're not leaving the area, it's because they're not done with their move lower. And here we go right there. And I got the drop yesterday into the close right there. Okay, so they're SPY on the 10-minute, okay? Usually after 6 candles, okay? If after 6 candles they don't leave this area, okay, all right, then they're committed. That kind of says to me that they're committed to the area, meaning they're not done doing what they want to do, which is move lower, okay? We did have an exhaustion candle here, okay? Notice the exhaustion candle right there. Well, an exhaustion-like candle. Might not have been the exhaustion candle, but it is the biggest red candle at the end of the move right there. Okay, so kind of traded that as a pop to the upside. I was expecting it to get back to VWAP. Of course, it never did, showing me weakness on the bull's part. And of course, price comes back down to revisit the scene of the crime, and then again, didn't leave the area and came down. So 10-minute downtrend under VWAP. There's SPY on the 10-minute chart. Okay, don't forget, even with all of this red that you're looking at today, we still made a new all-time high yesterday. Okay, we gapped up and we gave it all up. Okay, so bears filled the, notice bears did something. They filled the bullish gap before noon. Okay, that's a sign. All right, if we gap bullish and the bears fail to fill the gap, that's a sign before noon. Okay, that's a sign to me, even by 1 penny. Okay, if they fail to fill gap by 1 penny, that's a sign to me that the bulls have control. Okay, the bulls will have control for the day, more than likely, like a 95% chance. The bulls are going to have control. If they fail to fill gap before noon, all right, bulls are in control, okay? Now, you notice we filled gap, about, before noon anyways, okay? And you can see we're underneath VWAP and we're trading lower, okay, right through there. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute, okay? Let's take a peek at the game plan. All right, this is the game plan for today. Let me just scrunch it up so we can get a good look at it, okay? And push this down just a little bit. Bring some stuff into view. Okay, SPY pivot, 630. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Got a red erases green entry right here, 635.70. Okay, under 635.70 is my red erases green entry. Okay, I got a green erases red entry. Okay, all the way up here. See, here's the bears producing all of this. Okay, in red. All right. So let's just say let's just color this red so you can get it. So you can see what you want to see here. So let's push that red. And let's make this red, okay? So this would be the red. Now, if the bulls with the green come in, all right, that would be my entry, all right? See right up there. That would be green erasing everything that the bulls did. That's what I mean when I say green erases red. Notice the bulls come in and erase everything that the bears did yesterday, which was to take price from this high and move it down to this low, okay? So if the bulls come in and erase everything that the bears did, that would show me bullish control, and that would be my entry right here where price crosses, okay? 638.35. Now, I don't include the wick at the bottom or the tails at the bottom, okay? Okay, the wick at the top or the tails on the bottom, okay? But there's an example of green erasing red, okay? If they get that done, we'll see, all right? Still early, all right? We haven't got any economic numbers yet, but you can see that's where we are, okay? So that would be green erasing red, okay? And then red erasing green underneath 635.70, all right? That would be my bearish entry to the downside, okay? So for targets on the downside, just want to say, I'm going to pull out the 1 hour chart, okay? Got a couple of targets, okay? We've got, I'm going to take an all-time high anchored VWAP. I'm going to take an anchored VWAP. I'm going to stick it on, see this tail right here? Okay, so that's going to be one, and this is going to be the other. See this exhaustion candle right there? So I'm going to put it right on that exhaust. Didn't ask for that. Right there. Okay, so these would be my downside targets if we get a red erases green entry today. Okay, so right there, right about 634. Okay, and the other one is 631. Okay, it says 630.99, but we'll just call it 631 right there. Okay, those would be my downside targets, okay, if price continues to melt off. Okay, but I am looking at, okay, on the 1 hour chart, a whole lot of tails down here. Okay, not much wicks, but we got a lot of tails. See, tail, 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 mini tail, another tail, okay? Kind of indicating to me that there's some bulls down here, okay? We'll see what happens. If they break through, you know, we could see a flush down to 631. All right, so there's SPY game plan for this morning, okay? Let's go take a look at QQQ game plan. All right, I just want to point out on QQQ right up here, okay? QQQ, all right, new all-time high, just like SPY yesterday, okay? Right up there, all right? New all-time high on the QQQ, okay? Let's go back to the game plan. Okay, on the game plan, what do we have here, okay? Let's scrunch this stuff down here. Get some stuff into view here, and here we go, right here. Get over here. All right, so bullish, green erases red. See right up over the body of those candles, okay? You can see green erases red over, thank you, Chip, 571.45 right there. Yeah, 571.45. That would be my bullish green erases red entry up there. My pivot is 568.75. So above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. My bearish entry is price under 566.85. Okay, that would be my red erases green entry down here. Okay, so bullish entry 571.45 up there, and red erases green 566.85. Okay, now options. Now this applies to both SPY and QQQ. Okay, because you might have thought I forgot, but I didn't. All right, so on the options, I like 2 days till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5. Okay, that could be anywhere from, you know, $3 to $15 out of the money. Okay, that's what I like. All right, they aren't the best performing options. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, if you want the best performing option, it's going to be more than likely the 0 DTE. Okay, in the money option. That's going to give you that penny for penny performance. Okay, but I'm trying to reduce my risk. All right, because we've got a lot of traders that are new. All right, and they're not familiar. All right, So I want to give them time to make the necessary corrections. All right, so I choose a different product while people are learning. Okay, now trust me, I'm not afraid of trading 0 DTEs or 1 DTE in the money calls or puts or options. Okay, all right, I like them a lot, but I don't want people blowing up accounts either. Okay, so I choose a product that moves a little bit slower, all right, and it offers a little bit less risk, okay? Because if you buy an in-the-money option, you're going to pay up dearly for it, okay? If you buy an out-of-the-money, it's going to cost you a whole lot less. Hence, you're going to have less risk up there, okay? You're going to have to manage it, okay? You're going to give up, how do I say it? You're going to have less risk, but it's going to require more management, okay? Because that thing is going to melt, all right, as opposed to rising up. So you have to fight the theta decay at the same time. But keep in mind, it is cheaper, all right? But if you just kind of follow this 10-minute trend, all right, if you got a 10-minute downtrend and you got the puts, as soon as the trend ends, if you kill that trade, more than likely you'll wind up with a profit, okay? Or a 10-minute uptrend, as long as it's peeling away from VWAP, okay? 10-minute uptrend. Again, when that 10-minute trend ends, if you kind of close that out, okay, you won't have much management to do there, and then you won't have to manage it, all right? So look for that 10-minute trend to end. Now, it's a downtrend when the 3 is under the 8, okay? It's an uptrend when the 3 is over the 8, okay? And again, the uptrend, I want it to be over VWAP, and the downtrend, I want it to be under VWAP, all right? So when that trend ends, if you kill the trade, you won't have much management to do, all right? Just saying that for the new people here, all right? Because I don't want you to mess up your accounts, okay? So I like 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, all right? I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Same thing on SPY and QQQ, all right? Either one. I like them both, okay? I'll trade either one, okay? If a 10-minute downtrend happens to manifest, again, like it did yesterday up here, long before it even gets to the red erases green entry, okay? If it happens to manifest up here, okay? And you break the rubber band candle, see the spike candle? There's the rubber band candle right there, okay? I would be interested in trading this to the downside, okay? Long before it even gets, all right, to the red erases green entry, all right? If I had a 10-minute downtrend and it passed through the pivot, all right, I would be interested in trading that, all right? Either break the rubber band candle or pass through the pivot or break through the red erases green entry down here. Either way, I'm interested in all three of those. Same thing with the bullish green erases red. Okay, notice price is right here, right now. Let's look at it. It's 560. This is 568 right now. Okay, if a 10-minute trend was to originate or manifest down here, okay, long before it gets to the green erases red entry, way up here. Okay, it's like $4 away. Okay, if it was to manifest down here and start, I would be interested in trading that. I wouldn't have to wait till price gets to the green erases red entry way up here, okay? I would trade that as long as it broke a rubber band candle. My point of interest almost all the time is either a trend line or it's this VWAP line right here, okay? So you either have to break VWAP, the rubber band candle on VWAP, or either break a trend line, the rubber band candle on a trend line, or pass through and up over the pivot, okay? Either one. That's what I'd be interested in trading to the upside, okay? So I don't have to wait, okay, till green erases red to get into a bullish scenario or a bullish trade, all right? It can start and manifest down here, but it needs to do, you got to have some rules. All right. Without any rules, you're taking just every 10-minute uptrend. Okay. So you want to have some rules. So like one of my big ones is uptrend has to be over VWAP. Okay. I want it to either break a rubber band candle or be on top of the pivot. All right. So those are some rules. Okay. Now, if you get price and it happens to cross VWAP 2-3 times, all right, price crosses VWAP 2 or 3 times before noon, okay, you could be in for a chop day, okay? So look at price. If it's not peeling away and it just keeps coming down by one candle and then rips back up and then comes back down, okay, if you get that zigzag motion, all right, then you could be in for a chop day or a range bound day, okay? On those, okay, it'll do nothing but chop up your account because you'll chase the breakout to the upside, and you'll find yourself doing this, chase the breakout to the upside only to have it reverse on you, and then you'll chase the breakout to the downside, all right? And then all that does is just chop up your account because everything you thought you had up here that was going to break out, now you're ready to sit through a pullback, all right? Only to find out that it looks like now it's going to break the rubber band candle on the southern side, and then you have to close this out with a big loss, okay, and start a downtrend only to have it reverse and go back up again, okay? So watch that. If it crosses 2 or 3 times before noon, okay, you could be in for a chop day, okay? I don't want you in a chop day because it will do nothing but chop up your account. Okay, so there's QQQ, SPY. Again, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. I like the options that are either 2 days till expiration, Friday options on the multiple of 5, 3 to 5, $15 out of the money. Again, 9 days till expiration, Friday options on the multiple of 5, okay, $3 to $15 out of the money, okay? It's your choice. You got to decide. Thank you, Alan. You got to decide what you can afford, okay, or what you're willing to trade. Keep in mind, the further out of the money you go, the less performance you're going to get, okay, which means you're going to have more management, all right? And if you're in the money, okay, you'll have better performance, okay, but you will pay up for it, and you'll have less management to do, all right? You won't have all that theta decay that you normally get. Now, believe me, you'll get some price decay, okay? You have to worry about that, all right? So let's take a look at GDP because Alan just shared it with us, all right? And quarter over quarter, prior was minus 0.5. Consensus was 2.5. And we got 3.0 quarter over quarter. That's good. All right, that is really good. All right, consensus range was 0.8 to 3.8. I don't know why the market's not rallying, but 3.0 is good. All right, personal consumption was prior was 0.5. Consensus was 1.4. Okay, and we got 0.9 to 1.9. Well, we got better personal consumption expenditures, okay? So I guess, I don't know how to look at that, okay? I think that's, I guess we're spending more, all right? So that kind of tells me economy's good, all right? That's what it says to me, all right? And then what do we got? U.S. economy grew at a 3% rate in quarter 2, okay? Better than expected, even with the Trump tariffs hitting, okay? Thanks, Alan. Appreciate that. Rickster shared some stuff. GDP, yep, 3%. Core PCE, 2.5. GDP price index, 2%. Okay, I guess it's minus 2 or 2%. 2% there on quarter over quarter. Okay, and Jim shared ADP non-farm payrolls. Our non-farm employment change, okay, was 104 versus 77. Even if we went down, 20,000 jobs, that's not bad. All right, they were just complaining, all right, that there's a whole bunch of job openings and we need more employees. Excuse me. We need more living souls to fill those jobs that have openings. Okay, so even if that is unemployment, that is 20,000 less jobs. That's still good because we need them. All right, the people, maybe we can transition them into some of these other positions. So I see that as a positive for today. Okay, I see everything listed there. I like it. I like it all. On ADP unreliable. Yeah, it could be. It could be. All right, so, but I like that. Let's get back to the business at hand. Okay. All right, QQQ. You got the plan. We did the SPY. Let's go look at FNGU. All right, here's FNGU. We'll hit up on the daily chart. Again, new all-time high. Look at that platform being built right there. Okay, really nice. Big launch. Big launch pad there. I don't know if the big launch pads are better or not. Okay. I'd rather have it build the big launch pad than come back. All right. I'll say that. Okay. So, anyways, new all-time high on FNGU. Okay. You can see at the top of quadrant lines up there. Okay. New all-time high. Okay. Doesn't get any better than that. All right. Well, it does if it could have just stayed up there and lived up there all day long yesterday. But a rest is needed sometimes. Okay. Little pullback. Pick up some spinach. Get some mustard. All right. Go back up. Superpower. Punch your way through. Okay, there's FNGU, all right, new all-time highs. Take a look at IWM. All right, IWM, notice here, consolidating at the highs, okay, of the rally, not the all-time highs, the rallies of the highs. In the upper third, okay, so it's in this upper third area. If you're in the upper third, this is bullish, okay, lower third, okay, that's bearish down here. This is bullish. We're in the upper third. Okay, so we're up here, and we got a series of higher lows and higher highs. So we're uptrend, and we're bullish. And notice price moves up and holds that higher ground. That's a show of strength. Okay, that's like planking for 6 hours. Okay, that's strength. Okay, you know what it takes to plank for 10 minutes. All right, well, or 30 minutes. Okay, that's like planking for 6 hours. Okay, that's a show of strength. Right up there, building out the launch pad up there. Okay, so that's strength. Notice all the green dots, definitely got an uptrend going on there. Higher lows, higher highs. That's bullish and in an uptrend right there. Okay, so that's IWM. Okay, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow doing something kind of similar. Okay, again, moving up. All right, holding the higher ground, then moving up. Now consolidating on top, okay? That's bullish. Making a series of higher lows and higher highs. All right, that's an uptrend. That's bullish. Holding that higher ground. Again, you're in the upper third, so that's bullish up there, okay? And in an uptrend. All right, so that was the rally high. This is the all-time high. They are ready to knock on the door, all right? They are already knocking on the door, and they're ready to punch through. All right, if we could get some good earnings, maybe UNH, maybe Home Depot, maybe somebody, all right, produce some good earnings, and Diamond Dow, I think, could punch out a new high. All right, there's Diamond Dow on the daily chart. Home price, homes are just still going strong. The housing economy still looking good. All right, so there's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our technicals, T2122. All right, so we spent the day waffling back and forth between the seller's chop zone, all right, and the buyer's chop zone. It's a 15-minute chart, making, kind of setting up a trend line right through here, okay? Little trend line kind of setting up right there. You can see that downtrend line, okay? Hopefully they find a bottom. Maybe they double bottom soon. I would have thought this would have been the double bottom. Thought this might have been the triple bottom, but they seem to linger down here a little longer, and of course they dug out a lower low right down here in the seller's chop zone, okay? So we need to break this trend, okay? Maybe GDP will be enough to push price through. Maybe it comes back and then starts to waffle around in here, maybe make an appearance inside the buy zone, okay? That's what we're looking for. Hasn't happened yet, okay? It's a little premature right now, but I got to say the economic data looks good. We do have an FOMC announcement at 2 p.m. today, okay? And we've got a lot of economic data that's good. They could cut rates. We'll see. They have 2 scheduled before the end of the year. Doesn't mean they have to keep them, all right? So there's T2122. You can see he's still stuck in that consolidation downtrend, all right? I hope I'm still connected with everybody because I see I got a blip there in internet connectivity, all right? So we'll see. Yes, we are. Awesome. Thank you, Jim. All right, T2122. Let's take a look at T2123. Okay, look at this. New rally high right up here. See that? New rally. See the air between. See that? Air between that crosshairs up there. New rally high yesterday. T2123. Let me just show you this, okay? 23rd. Okay, look. New rally high. All right, well, let's go even further back. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's like every day. All right. Okay, so look at 17 to 18. New rally high. See, there's the 17. New rally high. 21. New rally high. Okay. 22. Up. New route. See how it rises up over that? New rally high. New rally high. New rally high. It's like a broken record here, right? Look at this. New rally high. New rally high. New rally high. Okay? Look at this. Just consistently just banging away. Banging out new highs on T2123. Okay? Higher lows, higher highs. Okay? That's an uptrend. You're up over the rising 200 SMA. That's bullish. Okay? And then we've passed through these 2 prior all-time highs. These are prior. This is the all-time high right here. Okay? And I like the fact that we're underneath here consolidating, building out the launch pad to blast up over there. Okay? Now, if you look at price action right here, okay, whenever you see price consolidate, okay, there's some consolidation. Now we've got some consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, that's a bullish behavior. That's a bullish environment. That's a show of strength. Okay, that is a very bullish behavior to see consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, that is bullish up there. Okay, so we're still bullish. Let me just say this: we're bullish until we're not. Okay, and nothing's falling apart yet. All right, I'm just saying that right now. Okay, we're bullish until we're not. And don't get in front of this, okay? You could get steamrolled, all right? I'm just saying, be careful. And you think you're counter trend, oh, this is way too high, this is way more than what they should be going, and you think that they're way overbought. Believe me, okay? When you think it's way too high, sometimes they're just getting started, okay? For another leg higher, all right? So don't get in front of it. Kind of ride the trend. Look for that green erases red entry to jump in and ride the trend. Ride the wave, okay? There's a river of money flowing downstream into a lake of money, all right? Just picture it in your head, okay? All you got to do is fall in, all right? That's all you got to do. So ride the trend, ride the wave, jump into the river and go with the flow, okay? Don't fight the flow, all right? Stay with the trend. You know the old adage, okay? The trend is your friend. Well, it's true, okay? See the direction of this 200 SMA? See, it's up, all right? Don't fight the trend, okay? Look for a green erases red event or green erases red entry. Those are the opportunities to jump in. Okay, so there's T2123. Okay, looking fantastic. Okay, now we're going to look at the same thing on the 3-bar chart. Okay, now over here, okay, we've got some consolidation to deal with up here, okay? So we've already cut through this one right there, okay? And we've already cut through that one right there. So I'm going to put the crosshairs up there so you can see what we're dealing with. Okay, you see where we are? You can see how I can put the crosshairs right there on the top of that, on the top of those candle bars. Okay, you can see these are the last two left to deal with. This one and this one. Okay, after we get through there, yeah, it's going to be an attack on the all-time high. Okay, I think they bust out a new all-time high. I think, all right? Sometimes I get disappointed, okay? But I think things are looking good. These are the last two out of all of this over here on the left, okay? We had to fight through all of this to get up to here. After we pass through these two, there's nothing stopping us now from attacking the all-time high, which is right up there. Okay, we are up there. We're in an uptrend. Notice the low. You've got a higher low. You notice the high. You've got a higher high. That's an uptrend. Look at the 200 SMA hooking. All right. See the direction. Look where it's pointed. Up. All right. This is bullish. Don't fight the trend. Okay. T2123. Just got to pass through these. Okay. It's not going to happen in one 4-hour candle. All right. It's going to take a little bit of time. All right. So that's why we're getting these pullbacks, because we're dealing with the consolidation over here. All right, so now we're kind of going to cut through this. All right, it's just going to take a little bit of time. Might even take another 2 or 3 days pause. All right, we'll see. You might see price wind up today instead of move higher. All right, there's a possibility there. All right, but wait for this to cut through these two peaks right here. That's the only obstacle from preventing us from attacking the all-time high right there. Is those two peaks right there, okay? So it's looking good. It's really looking good, okay? And you know, and what inflation does, inflation, well, makes all the goods and services more expensive, right? All right, so what does that mean? More revenue for the company, right? And if management got their act together, what does that mean, okay? It means a lot of those revenue should transcend down to the bottom line, okay? And that would be earnings. And so an increase in earnings means what? You got it, all right? A higher share price, all right? And you got growth in earnings, okay? So with all those share prices rising, okay, you're liable to see, this is what inflation does. You're liable to see the indexes make new all-time highs, okay? The data, all right, make new all-time highs. This is T2123. Let's take a look at FNGU. Remember, FNGU made a new all-time high right there yesterday. All right, notice they are still holding the higher ground, okay? Still doing a fantastic job up here, holding the higher ground. Okay, you've got consolidation over prior consolidation. See it starting to build out here. Okay, that is a bullish environment. That is a bullish outlook. That is a bullish characteristic. Again, planking for 6 hours, okay, takes an incredible amount of strength. That's what you're looking at right there, an athlete, okay, right there, okay. So here's price action up over the flat 200 SMA. That's bullish. You're up over the all-time, this is a pink line, the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, you can see price action consolidate, okay. See it consolidate right here. All right, then you've got the next level of consolidate, see? All right, and then you got another one. See how it goes? And then you've got another one. Okay, see how consolidation over consolidation is bullish. Look at it. Okay, now when you go up, okay, if you go up and you come back and you give it up, that's just neutral. Okay, all right, it's when you go up and you hold that higher ground, that's the bullishness, that's the show of strength. Okay, right there. Okay, so when you look for products, all right, you want to look for them to show strength, not go up and piss around for 3 days and then give it up, okay? You want to see them go up and camp out, all right? Build a camp, all right, like they're going to be there for the next 3 days, 5 days, 6 days, hunting and fishing and setting up their new homestead, all right? That's what you want to see, all right? FNGU, that's bullish and in an uptrend. All right, let's take a look at a few sectors here, okay? All right, let's start off with, let's go down here, let's go with XLE, all right? XLE looking pretty good, all right, I've got to say. All right, so you got higher lows, you got higher highs, so we have an uptrend, okay? What we have right now is we're not in the upper third, okay? And we're not in the lower third, okay? So we're just kind of in the neutral ground. Notice, see, we're kind of waffling in through here, okay? We're just in the neutral area, okay? Okay, price action is neutral, but, okay, it is doing some of the right stuff by consolidating. See this? Try it one more time. Okay, consolidating over prior consolidation right there, okay? That's a bullish move right there. So notice we stepped out of the bearish zone and into the neutral zone, okay? If they could do that again up here, they could possibly jump into the bullish zone up here. In the upper third would be bullish. Okay, right now they're just in the neutral. Notice they get up over all-time high anchored VWAP and then they give it up. See, they piss around for 3 days and then you see a big red candle, okay? They piss around for 3 days and then they give it up, okay? That's what we don't want, okay? We want to see them get up there and hold. So that's the reason they're just neutral, okay? But they're in an uptrend, okay, because they're making higher lows and higher highs, okay? Need to see them hold that area for once, all right? Price action right now, all right, you can see if I zoom out, okay, notice every time they come up to the pink line, they give it up. See it? Every time they get up there, they just give it up. They even come down to the bottom line and they give that up, okay? That's why they're just neutral. Okay, so they're under downtrend line 3, but over downtrend line 1 and 2, okay? All right, and they're knocking on the door of the all-time high anchored VWAP, okay? That's the pink line right there. Okay, but they are looking good. Nice trend forming here, right? Nice trend, okay? So it's going to take some time. They're not ready yet. They're still baking the cake. All right, let's take a look at USO. Well, how about that candle on USO, okay? All right, so we got higher lows. We got higher highs, okay? Obviously didn't make a higher high than that, okay? Okay, but we haven't made any lower lows, all right? So we're still in an uptrend. Okay, so there's USO, okay, in an uptrend. Okay, now look at price, all right? Let's just forget about this global economic event there, okay? Okay, we all know what that was. That was the 3-day war, okay, with Iraq, all right, or the 6-day war, whatever it was, okay? That was that, okay? Let's just forget that. That's them shutting down the global supply, okay? Price, okay, moves up, holds a higher ground, moves up, forget this, holds a higher ground, and now we're launching again, okay? This is bullish, okay? I was talking about this before this happened, that this is bullish right here, moving up and holding the higher ground like this, okay? I said to forget that. I don't think we'll ever top that for a long time, but moving up here and holding this higher ground, that is bullish, okay? USO. Remember, the energy sector hasn't gone through the inflationary increase in prices. That's coming, okay? So there's a lot of potential over the next 2 years for you to see, how do I say it, a really nice bump in energy, okay? I think it's just now getting started. Remember, inflation already hit the retail market, right? It already hit the tech market, okay? Okay, but it has not hit the energy market, has not really taken hold in the energy market. All right. Now, when that happens, look out. I think energy is going to make some new all-time highs. Okay, so there's USO having a breakout from the launch pad right there. Okay, that's in the upper third, so that's bullish. All right, and it's in an uptrend. All right, no doubt about that. Okay, so bullish and in an uptrend. See, here's the April low. There's the rally high. Okay, and then now we're coming back up to quadrant 4. That's bullish. Okay, they're in the upper third and they're in an uptrend. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, UNG. Let's take that out of the way. You can see on UNG, you got the triple top head. There's your head. You got the shoulder right here. Double top, right shoulder. Double top, left shoulder. Neckline right there. You can see the test of the neckline. Unable to get on top of it and hold. All right, so now the right arm is going to probably extend down to where the left arm was. This right here, this is the all-time low, okay? Right here, that low right there, that's the all-time low. Okay, so chances are we're going to come down here and challenge those all-time lows. We'll see. Hope we don't do that, but that's what it looks like, all right, so far. So there's UNG. Obviously, in a downtrend, you've got lows. You got 4 lows right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're making lower lows. See this? Okay, so that's a downtrend. Okay, we keep making new lows. All right, that's a clear sign we're in a downtrend. See all the red dots? That's a clear sign we're probably in a downtrend. Right there. Okay, downtrend and bearish. Okay, again, you're in the lower third. Okay, you're in quadrant 1. Okay, if I take all this out of the way, you can see this is quadrant 1 because that's the all-time low. So this is bearish down here. Okay, notice they go up, they give it up, and more. All right, UNG. Okay, let's take a look at GLD. Gold and silver both in uptrends. All right, price action moves up, holds the higher ground. That's bullish. Making higher lows and higher highs, that's bullish. Okay, look at the quad top up here. Usually after a double top, they abandon the area and start looking at the all-time lows. Okay, notice they didn't do that. Okay, they made a double top, made a little lower low right here, and then recovered. All right, and made a new all-time high up there. Okay, so there's GLD. All right, that's in an uptrend and it's bullish. Look at it move up and plank all the way up here. That's a show of strength, okay? That's building out a 3-month launch pad right there, okay? That's bullish and in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Still holding strong, okay? Silver doing much of the same thing, okay? Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish, okay? Nothing's falling apart, okay? In order for them to get in a downtrend, they would have to take out this tail down here, okay? It's a long ways down. I don't think it's going to happen because we got a shelf of support right here. This is the launch pad that they built, okay? Notice it wasn't no, this is no 5-day launch pad, okay? This looks like a 3-week, 4-week launch pad being built here, okay? So that should hold some price up over it, okay? The bigger the launch pad, okay, the harder it is for price to blast through on the bottom side, okay? All right, so it'll probably hold price up over it for a while. All right, so you got silver in an uptrend and bullish. Okay, SMH. Okay, all right, drop the mic. Doesn't get any better than this. New all-time high, SMH. Okay, drop the mic. Doesn't get any better than this. See the launch pads? All right, you see the green box? There's the launch pad. This is what you get. I mean, I can just go over and over, show you launch pad after launch pad after launch pad. This is what they produce 95 to 90% of the time, is a pop to the upside. All right? So there's another new all-time high. Drop the mic. Doesn't get any better. XLF. Price action all the way up here at the top, consolidating. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Look at all the green dots. Okay, higher lows, higher highs. It's bullish and in an uptrend. IYT, terrible candle on IYT yesterday. Okay, still in the upper third. Don't like the candle. All right, IYT is the transports. Okay, we're up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. We're in the upper third. That's bullish. They started a downtrend. But John, how'd they start a downtrend? All right, see this low that pops through the 17? Okay, they made a lower low. That's how they did it, right there. Okay, now if they come back and rally up over this peak right here, okay, that pops above the 17, okay, if they rally up above that peak, okay, they will negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. Okay, they got to take out that high. That's all they got to do. All right, let's take a peek at the economic package. All right, let's take a peek at the economic package. Okay, let's start off with the dollar. Okay, the dollar is in an uptrend right now because it made a higher low and it made a higher high. It's in an uptrend. Okay, if they take out this low, they will negate the uptrend and reconvert the downtrend. Okay, price action left off yesterday, 98.90 about, or 98.86, looks like about 98.88 or 98.90 right there, okay, on the dollar. Now in an uptrend. Did I say downtrend? No, it's now in an uptrend. Okay, on the dollar. Dollar is now in an uptrend. Got to correct that. Max Payne, 635. That's for the SPY options that expired today. Again, you got 1.64, roughly, about 1 2/3 puts for each call that expires today. Economic calendar, okay, so we had 80 employment, 8:15, okay, MBA mortgage applications at 7, GDP came out at 8:30, we talked about that. We got pending home sales index at 10 o'clock, should be a petroleum, yeah, petroleum report at 10:30, FOMC announcement at 2, little presser coming afterwards where Mr. Powell will probably speak to as to the actions of the FOMC announcement at 2:30. Okay, jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30, personal income and outlays 8:30, employment cost index 8:30, Chicago PMI 945, a gas report at 10. All right, and we got some huge earnings tonight. All right, tonight Microsoft 3.8 trillion, Meta 1.8 trillion, HSBC Holdings, not sure if they found the P&L yet, Qualcomm 176 billion. All right, ARM Holdings 174 billion. All right, Banco Santander is coming out this morning, 148 billion. Lam Research tonight with Microsoft and Meta, okay, 126 billion. ADP 124 billion. That's this morning. UBS, I think that's banking, 119 billion. Train Technology, probably air conditioning, I'm gonna guess 105 billion. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and then tomorrow, some more big boys. Apple, $3.1 trillion, and Amazon, $2.4 trillion. Okay, MasterCard, $500 billion. That's going to come out tomorrow morning. AbbVie, $337 billion in the morning. 162 billion S&P Global in the morning. Stryker Corp's going to announce with Apple and Amazon in the evening, 153 billion. Unilever, 145 billion. They're going to be in the morning with AbbVie and MasterCard. Okay, KKR, 134 billion. Sanofi, 124 billion. Comcast, 122 billion. All right, Ferrari, 122 billion. Clack, 121 billion. I guess they count themselves as tech instead of retail. They're going to come in tomorrow evening alongside Amazon and Apple. Okay, let me just say those big boys can move the markets. All right, right here, Microsoft and Meta, they can move the markets. That's like, let's see, 3.8 and 1.8. That's a whole lot of market cap. Okay, then we've got 3.1 and 2.4. Again, that's a whole lot of market cap. All right, those guys can move the markets, either one of all of them. All right, those four. All right, and I think most of those four are in the FNGU. All right, that's it for me for today. Okay, so I'll be back in about 20 minutes, and we'll open up the markets. Okay, probably going to mark off the first 15 minutes. All right, let me just go ahead and get you guys set up. All right, with the pre-market. We're pulling back. Market's not too happy. All right, so we're going to set off. We're going to mark off the pre-market highs and the post-market lows. All right, we're just going to mark off the highs and the lows. Okay, a break of either one of those could be a directional move to the upside. Okay, so breakout of this, I'd be looking for calls for a 10-minute uptrend to the upside. All right, a break of the lows would be look for puts for a 10-minute downtrend to the downside. Okay, and then I'm going to mark off the first 15 minutes. Okay, let's just imagine that was the first 15 minutes. So a breakout of the first 15 minutes of trading, okay, that would also constitute an entry right in there. Okay, we're going to mark off the first 15 minutes. Now, if we break out to the downside, just be careful, because we might just fill gap and then bounce hard and fast all the way back up to the top side of the opening range, rip through the pivot, and rip through the top area right here. Okay, so if you do take a put down here, be careful, because it will probably bounce off of the gap fill. All right, I'm just saying that. All right, and it will probably bounce off this support right through here. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, but that's the plan. All right, I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes.